What's up everybody, my name is Darth Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're building two little tiny homes in Oasis Springs. This is the Raffia Quinta lot in Oasis Springs. It's a 20 by 15 lot and technically it's not a tiny home lot, it's a rental residential so that you can rent out one of the apartments as you see fit, but unfortunately you don't get the perks from having a tiny home. I figured there would be more cross-pack compatibility with this, but there really isn't, which is unfortunate. Although I get why, because technically it's all on one lot and there's still like tiles placed in the same lot, so it makes sense. I wanted these houses to really fit into Oasis Springs vibe. We got a lot of mid-century modern houses here, so that's what I'm going to do with these little tiny houses. We kind of got the same roof line as the house next door. I built that a couple weeks ago. I think I just called it building a mid-century modern house if you want to go and check that out. I gave each little house a small backyard. They're both 5 by 5 and it's actually a decent sized yard for this little lot. Each apartment has a very colorful interior. I went with a green in one apartment and then in a bright orange and reddish color in the other apartment. And I also created a small little driveway and put a couple of cars from Debug in there just so it looks a little bit more realistic. Although if cars were real in the sim, they probably wouldn't be able to like get around them in this tiny little parking lot here, but you know, we can pretend because they don't actually work. I gave each backyard their own grill and like one activity. I gave one of the units some gardening pots and then the other one has a handiness table, but both units at least have a full dining room table even if they can't inside. I didn't really have a ton of space, so I didn't put a table inside. One of the units actually has room for a cat, so that's pretty fun. So when we actually get to decorating the inside of that apartment, I'll tell you about our tester sims for today. I did actually go in and like rent out the second unit so that I had a tester sim for it that I didn't have to create because a lot of the apartment sims are just like randomized sims, which is fun because I really don't like doing a bunch of casts. Like as much as I'll do is like my tester sims or like legacy sims, for example, because I just really don't feel like I'm good at putting sims outfits together and making them look good. So most of the time my sims end up wearing like all one color throughout their whole outfits, which is fine. It just can be a little boring. That's kind of how I am in real life too. I wear a lot of like black leggings or black shirts and stuff like that, so I'm pretty much like my sims. If you're at all interested, I do take tester sims. If you want them featured in a build video, you can leave a sim on the gallery with the hashtag DarthTesters and I will feature them in a future video just as a way to give back to my community and show you guys how much I appreciate you. Even though there's only a few of us, I still appreciate you all. Speaking of tester sims though, our first tester sim is Devin McGill. He has the super parent aspiration, which gives him the domestic bonus trait. He is a music lover, a bro, and he is ambitious. He also has a cat named Princess. She is a Singapura, and she is spoiled, playful, and friendly. Our second tester sim is Leo Devlin. He is a loner, childish, and romantic. He has the Mount Komorebi Sightseer aspiration, which gives him the home turf bonus trait, and he's actually in the military career. He's a sergeant minor, which is level 4 in the career, which I believe is the career from Strangerville, which is really interesting because not only do sims not generate with jobs usually, it's also just like one of the most random jobs in the game. I honestly don't think I've ever given any of my sims the military career, ever, because it's a rabbit hole job and I usually just make my sims stay at home and like paint or something, or like write because they make a lot more money doing that. But right now we have the kitchens done in both apartments. I use the Home Chef Hustle counters. They're my favorite counters. I can't get over it. And then I also use the new mini fridge from For Rent because it gives us a little bit more counter space. We can put another appliance on there. And then I use the Dream Home Decorator stove top and the built-in oven. And you can actually prepare food on top of the Dream Home Decorator stove top thing, which is pretty cool. We've got a small little living room here for Devin's apartment. I actually put in the cat furniture off screen because I forgot that he had a cat at first, and then when I went to playtest this build, I was like, oh god, he's got a cat, so I gotta put some stuff in there. I'm using some high school years furniture, the couch and the little ottoman, as well as the tiny living TV stand, and I'll actually use the TV stand in both apartments just so they're a little bit similar, because you do need to furnish like the entire build for these apartments and for rent, or else like your Sims are gonna get mad that they don't have any amenities, and then you're gonna get fined, and then you're not gonna make any money, which you really don't make a lot of money on rentals just from the last few days of me playing with it. So like unless your appliances are really expensive and all the furniture you use is like super expensive, you're not going to be able to rent the apartment out for a lot of money. I'm also working on a new Let's Play of the new Mold Death that came with For Rent. I was playing as a tenant and not once did I ever get asked to pay rent, so I feel like that's a bug. If this is like a rent-centered pack, like literally it's in the title, why aren't people asking me for rent? And why is my landlord not collecting it? Like, I'm not getting the rent as a landlord, so I don't know what's happening with that. I mean, it's great if you're a tenant because then you don't have to pay the rent, but if you're playing as the landlord, then you kind of have to collect the rent or else your bills are going to be extremely high. We're going to be moving on to the bathrooms here in just a second. I was trying to figure out some curtains. The curtains from the new pack looked really great in here, but I went with the Desert Lux curtains instead. They're my favorite curtains. I can't live without them. Like, the Desert Lux kit is a must-have kit for me. It's one of the nicest like outdoor packs that we have, even though it doesn't have like a hot tub or anything like that. It's just got some really nice furniture, and obviously the curtains are like the best. We're moving on to the bathrooms right now. I'm using a snowy escape shower. Your Sims can walk over that just fine and then get to the toilet, which is the new squat toilet from the For Rent pack. I really think they're interesting, so I want to use them a lot more because I like a new toilet. I really do. I feel like I'm always using like the tiny living toilet, so I feel like these are a new go-to for me. It also has a new animation, so it's just interesting to see during gameplay. I went with bunk beds in every unit because their bedrooms are kind of small. They're only like a 3x3 bedroom. Having a computer was essential for me, so I had to have somewhere to put it, and they don't have dining room tables, so underneath the bed was fine. I really didn't go overboard on the decorations for this. I wanted it to be somewhat affordable, and these ended up being about 46,000 simoleons in total for the entire lot, which turned out to be about $70 or $80 a day for your Sims to rent, which I don't think is too bad. Your Sims should be able to afford it just fine. For the second apartment, I used like the same curtains, just in a different color, and then the Dream Home Decorator bed, that's just got a different like build to it. We're also using the high school years couch, but the 3-seater one, and then a tiny living chair, just for a little bit extra seating inside. Although I didn't put a ton of clutter in this build, just so that I know your Sims can actually get around and not glitch into things, which they probably will at some point, but you know, I tried to make it a little bit better. But that's just about all for today's speed build. We'll be getting to the tour in just a few moments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I try to upload a couple videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all in the next video. Dag dag!